everybody, it's Romania Black. We're on episode 15 of Modao Zushi, the season finale, and I am so hyped. I found out it's a minute longer this episode than normal, which I'm all about. A minute longer, it's 24 minutes. Oh man, there was so much packed into the last episode. It felt like it went by so quick, but there was so much going on. We had the Sunspot campaign. It looked like oh gosh, I can't say his name, but he's the fun, he's the Knee guy. He's the Knee clan leader. He had a victory. He killed Zhu, which was Rohan's first son. Killed him. We got an off-screen death, but I'll take it as long as he's still alive. The Jin clan's not doing so well, it looks like. The Jin clan's got some issues going on. They're not winning all their battles. There's this character named Yao that was presented that I'm assuming we're going to see later on that is probably related to Zirin. And then meanwhile, Wangji and Cheng have been holding up a strong point, a little holdout, and then Yanli is there now too, so he gets reunited with his sister there. But I hope she's safe because it looks pretty dire right now that the Wing clan has invaded. So much happened. Cheng, I talked about it last episode, but Cheng just wanting to kill the Winds, not really thinking of justice or whatever, because Wangji is thinking about, honor and dignity and the keeping of their clans moving forward and righteousness and justice, and he's fighting the Winds who go against that. But you can tell Wanji's not really happy about Cheng being so fixated on just killing the Winds. Like, he's not focused on the overarching picture. He's just trying to get revenge for his parents' death. And you can tell that Wanji's kind of like, because in reality, Wangji lost his father because of the Winds. Like, his father was put into a coma and died because of the Winds. So Wangji would very much know what it feels like to lose a family member, but Wanji's not bent on revenge like Cheng is. And I think that's the big thing that's different here. And Wanji's also kind of freaked out about the talismans attracting resentful energy and bad juju instead of repelling it. And I have a feeling that Wangji's going to be so conflicted, as if Wangji wasn't already conflicted about his emotions. Now he's going to have to deal with the fact that WuXian's alive, but WuXian's also, got some resentful energy he's controlling. So he's doing what he should not be doing some heretic things. But man, does it look cool. And the mistress, the maid of a slut, getting her up-and-comings, just getting taken out, eaten alive, basically, last episode. I really want her to be the one to take Chow out. I really want that to be the case, but I have a feeling it's going to be WuXian. I don't know. Unless this series is just cruel and lets Chow live. But, guys, I'm so excited. I've been told the flashbacks will continue into season 2, which I totally understand because we've not gotten everything. Because this is just one battle, the Sunspot campaign. We still have years later when WuXian actually dies. So there's a long time passing between this battle and when WuXian dies and then comes back at the start of this season. So there's still a lot of things left unanswered and unexplained, and I'm curious to know what all we're going to get with that. But this episode, guys, I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm hoping we conclude the Sunspot campaign and then this whole incident, but I don't know. The only thing I'm worried about is Ning and Cheng being sent to the battlefront. I'm worried about that because of how Cheng is acting. Cheng is acting like every win is a threat, every win is a problem, we need to destroy everyone. And that makes me nervous because that makes me think, well, what about Ning and his sister? Are they going to be attacked by Cheng even though they're not doing anything bad? That gives me, it was a bad sense of foreboding where she's like, we're just healers, we're not going to abandon our principles. And I feel like Cheng might be abandoning some of his principles just for the sake of vengeance. And the same with WuXian to a sense. But we haven't heard anything from WuXian since he fell into the burial grounds and since the resentful energy came up on him. So we haven't heard him talk at all. So I'm so curious. It's been like a whole episode and we haven't heard a single word from our chaotic gremlin that wouldn't shut up at the start of this season. So, I'm so excited. We still have season 2 to watch. I almost want to go back and rewatch episodes 1 and 2 after this, and I might do something through Patreon and Discord about rewatching those 2 episodes because that could be kind of fun. But man, y'all, I don't know. I'm really excited, And I don't feel bad about ending this first season because we still have a whole nother season to watch, and season 3 is coming after that. So I'm not worried because we're gonna jump right into season 2 after this episode. But oh, guys, it's one of those things where it's oddly satisfying to see WuXian being badass and getting vengeance, but at the same token, I worry about him and Cheng being so devoted on the revenge aspect that they're missing what happens after that. Like, you've used all this resentful energy to get rid of the winds. Cool. Now what? And so I worry that it's something like once you open the floodgates, there's no going back. So once you defeat the winds, what do we do then, right? It reminds me a lot of Lord of the Rings. If you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, Aragorn, who's the king in that series, he enlists the help of this dead army, kind of similar to this. And conveniently in the movies and conveniently in the books, as soon as the dead army is done doing its bidding, it just fades away. And it's like, okay, cool. It's a plot device. Awesome. You used it. Great job, Tolkien. Now we can move on. But with this, it seems like it has more lingering effects because we've seen at the start of this season, at the very beginning, that the zombies are still around. The resentful energy is still continuing its cycle. New zombies are being made even when WuXian wasn't there. So it's kind of like you've opened Pandora's box, and a being that's able to control what's inside of Pandora's box is now walking around the rest of the world. So what do we do with that? I don't know, guys, but I'm really excited to watch this episode. I hope y'all are too. Again, I've rambled for 6 minutes. There's just so much to talk about. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this season finale. I'm so excited, but we are going to start episode 15 of Modao Zushi here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. It's him! Oh! Cool! Okay! Okay, what a tease! What a tease! What a tease we're getting! Oh my gosh. How could you end it like that? Y'all had to wait for season 2 after that? What a damn tease! That did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I'll be honest. I said I wanted the winds to go down, and I said I wanted Chow and the core melting hand to go, but I'll be honest, as awful as they are, as awful as they were, that was some straight up torture. Like, that was a gruesome, gruesome death. And Cheng, of course, is all about it because that's what he's wanted. But Wangji's like, this isn't right. And Wangji brings up a really good point saying, you've opened this Pandora's box of this demonic cultivation, these demonic arts. It's going to eat away at you, and you're not going to be able to control it. And there seemed to be a very big difference between WuXian when he was normal and when his eyes turn red, and when that resentful energy starts to, it almost did seem to control him to an extent, even though he seemed like he was on top of it. And so I'm wondering, because we established at the end there that 3 years later is when WuXian dies, and then 13 years later he comes back, because they said 16 years later is the present time. So clearly in those 3 years since Chow died and the Sunspot campaign kind of reached its peak, they went to get the sword to stop Ruhan, which I'm assuming we're going to get that next season. They leave us off at that, saying we tied back to the turtle, to the feral sword, the sin of murder. Like, oh yeah, that seems like a great relic. Let's use that. And this tiger talisman that can summon all the corpses, that he's using these magical objects and these artifacts. And so we're leaving that off for next season. I'm assuming we're going to tie back to that. But then I like that the Land Clan members were like, speculating about WuXian, like what led him to do all these horrible things in the end that led to his death. And WuXian is like, in Mo's reincarnated body, like, I know what happened, and now I've got to live with this 13 years later. But I'm going to be honest, guys, Wangji, that was heartbreaking when Wangji was like, when they stopped using their first names, they started using their courtesy names, and Wangji's like, I just want you to come back with me to the cloud recesses where it's simple and where you don't have to be around all these bad things. And WuXian takes it as, oh, you just want to bring me in so that you guys can stop me from doing it. And he's like, no, that's not it. And it's like, and it's so painful and it hurts because you just, and of course Cheng is backing up WuXian because WuXian's doing what Cheng wants. And so they're brothers again, right? And so they're the heroes of Zhang and the Lotus Pier. And it's like, and even Yanli has to put on the smiley face to talk to them because she's like, they're my brothers. I don't totally agree with everything that they're doing because they're talking about a massacre, but I'm going to put on a happy face because they're my family. But I just have a feeling that the flashbacks we get next season are going to hurt. They're going to hurt. It's going to be, because we still haven't got Yanli's death. We know it's coming. We know it's all going to go downhill. And the beginning of the first half of this episode just showed how strong WuXian is. Like, he literally took the core melting hand's core out of himself and destroyed it like that. And oh my gosh, you guys, next season's gonna hurt, isn't it? We only got 8 episodes of it. Oh buddy, buddy. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. So yeah, you know, no big deal. Not at all, right? Oh man. We still got Yanli's death coming. That's gonna hurt. This whole thing with WuXian and Wangji, it already hurts. The only good thing out of this episode is that we get the flash forward to the present. And I love that Zishan is now the clan leader. I love Zishan's in charge. I love it. This Yao character that we met in just a brief still in episode 14 apparently is now really important, is Mo's half-brother. So is technically WuXian's half-brother. So we're going to have him involved next season. We're getting the Ni clan back. We're getting him back. He's going to be in the story. I'm excited. He gets to play a part in all this. Cool. And yeah. Wangji. I love that Wangji went from, at the start of this flashback, from despising that WuXian would dare bring alcohol into the cloud recess. How dare you bring this unclean substance in? And in the present time, Wangji has a whole stash of it under his bed. It's like, which is kind of sad too. Because that means for 13 years, Wangji's just been drinking his Emperor Smile under his bed and thinking of WuXian probably for 13 years. It's like, no wonder after everything these characters have been through, no wonder that the moment he realized, because I'm sure he knows that Zhan Yu is WuXian. I'm sure he knows that it's that body, that somehow he's been brought back. And so you know that as soon as he found that out, he was like, nope, taking you to the cloud recesses like I should have done 16 years ago to prevent all this from happening. And the rabbits are still there. And the moment he smiles at Wangji, it's like, oh, y'all. Buddy. But his lips trembling and Wangji being so sad and this emotionless monk from episode 3 to like lips trembling so sad that WuXian wouldn't come back with them. It's like, what is this show? What is this? I can't. The ending of this, where we flash forward to the present and WuXian is slowly learning about what's been going on in the past 13 years since he's been gone, was like a saving grace for this episode because it was going to end on a really, really sad note. But in the same vein, we're still not given everything leading up to episode 1. So we still have lots of things to retrace in the next 8 episodes. I've heard the next 8 episodes for season 2 rush things a little bit. So I'm sure that in the comments each week, y'all are going to be filling me in with what's left out. And even if you don't, it's fine. I don't want to be spoiled. I am going to go read the novel and report back on it. Someone back at the start of me reacting to this series was kind enough to tell me which chapters to avoid because they're going to be spoilers for season 3. So as soon as I'm done with season 2, I am going to read the novel, the parts of it that are safe to talk about season 1 and season 2 material, and then that way I can go into season 3 with the full context, which I'm excited about. I'm excited about that a lot. But man, this episode, that was crazy. That did not end the way I thought. I thought we were going to actually get a battle with Rohan, and I guess that's not going to happen until the next season when we see what's going on. And there's still so much, because Cheng was totally on board with WuXian in this episode, was totally on board with his actions. Like, yeah, they may be heresy, but they're getting the job done, so I'm with it. But Wangji has the right idea. He's like, no, this is going to end badly. We need to stop this now. And it hurts so much to see WuXian, our smiley, chaotic gremlin, just be this dark, sinister presence. Like, at first it was badass, I'll admit. I was like, oh, WuXian, you're looking so cool. But as that scene drug on, it's like WuXian wasn't totally himself, and it was kind of, it wasn't our chaotic, smiley, self-sacrificing gremlin. It was someone hell-bent on revenge and consumed by negativity. And it was like, that was hard. It was hard because you wanted the Winds to get their comeuppance, but at the same time, like, I'm assuming that it all just came to a head and WuXian just lost total control of himself, and maybe that's what caused Yanli to die, was that he couldn't differentiate between who to save and who to kill anymore. I don't know. There's so much left unsaid, and I have a feeling season 8 is going to give us answers and still leave us hanging for season 3. So, man, y'all, when I started this series, I did not expect myself to get so invested, but as soon as I realized just how into this show you guys are, I was like, well, the fandom has to be this excited about this show for a reason. And these last 2 episodes, they've cemented why. We still don't have Ning and his sister. We didn't get anything with them this episode, so I'm assuming that's going to be in a flashback. There's so many things left unsaid. We still need to know about Yanli. We still need to know about Rohan and the Winds. We still need to know about the fallout between Cheng and WuXian, which I'm sure is over Yanli. We still need to know, is there any... I'm sure there's more pain with WuXian and Wangji. Of course there's going to be more pain. Why wouldn't there be? More of that. The thing with the Jin clan, we need to say what's up with them. We haven't seen Yanli and Zirin get together, so I'm like, when does that happen? Zishan, I'm assuming we're going to see more with him. The Ning and his sister, when does Ning become a general? When does he die? He had shackles on in the first episode with him, so what's up with that? What is the whole thing with that? It's just, there's so many questions left unsaid, and so many things that I want answered, but that we're not going to assumingly get answers to yet. Man. Interesting. So yeah, I do think that I might go back and rewatch episodes 1 and episodes 2 now that the whole thing has come full circle. It still won't be complete because there's still so much left unsaid from season 2 because we haven't got the full context yet. But I feel like knowing what we know now, I could go back and rewatch episodes 1 and 2 and catch things that I didn't catch the first time. So if you follow me on Patreon, we might try to do a Patreon watch of that here in the next couple weeks or so. But I'll let you all know. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. Oh, this season was so good, and I am so ready to start season 2. I really am, and we're going to jump right into it next week with episode 1. So I'm excited, y'all. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back soon with season 2 of Modao Zushi. Bye.